TRW, ALEA, Spanish magazine War Game, or War Game magazine. Number 34, November 2011. The game is La Reconquista, the 8th to 15th centuries. The game comes with 30 battle scenarios with a focus on the Iberian campaigns of the Reconquista, but it also has battles from France, from Turkey, Greece, Bulgaria. So my aim here, set up a new battle here. The battle is, and I know absolutely nothing about it, the battle is Quart. Fought in the year 1094. I guess that's in the area of Valencia. And I recognize El Cid, but I don't, maybe I'll translate that at some point. But that's the Battle of Quart. Never heard of it. 1094. My aim here is to bring it all together. So I chose another battle. Really, I chose it for the amount of terrain. So this game has woods, hills, or mountains, and a fortress down here. So I'm going to bring it all together, all of the rules. There is a special, there's one special rule. I need to remember this too. And then there's the historical note. I like that. So far, every special rule I've seen is keyed to a historical note. So we have one for the Battle of Quart, but Valencia. In the first 2 turns, the Muslim ALEA score should be halved, rounded down. So ALEA score is the number of activation points you get in the second half of the turn. So there's some sort of limitation on the Muslim side's activity. Let's take a look at the historical note and show you some of the bad, unfortunately the bad translation, but historical note number 23 of Valencia. Before the start of the siege of Valencia, El Cid, drove the large Muslim community who lives in the city and goes to take refuge to the camp of the Almoravids, who sold men, elderly and children as slaves and were devoted to raping women for days. While these pious and compassionate beasts delighted in these military preparations, El Cid was about to give a clearest example in the Middle Ages, who it will be defined as blitzkrieg in the 20th century. Alright, I guess you could think a bit what's meant there, but that's it's an example of the type of historical scenery and setting you get, especially through the historical notes. I want to bring this game all together. I am pleasantly, surprised. I'm pleased with what I'm seeing so far with everything. So I definitely want to put it all together. And putting it all together means terrain, and also I need to remember on an activation roll of 3, actually, you draw one of the cards. These are the Muslim cards, and these are the Crusader cards. And this is the first. This is the first unexpected discovery I've made. I might have missed it. I will continue to look a bit more, but I don't think I have English translations for these cards. I have English translations for everything else I've looked for, but I don't have translations for these cards. So if need be, I will type these into an online translator letter by letter and figure out what these special events are, I guess. But I am going to play with them. So on a roll of 3, we're going to work in these cards. I believe all cards are one use only, so I'll just X them out as they're used. And you draw randomly, so what I'll do is I'll just roll randomly on the sheet there. Okay, so again, point is here is to bring everything together. So I think that's, I mean, I guess I can talk about terrain. I mean, that's the last big thing that I haven't mentioned at all. So this is how terrain works. In the game, there are 3 kinds of terrain. There's Kala. This is a fortress. Kala. There is Gaba, which is woods. A little picture of trees there, right there. And Yabal, which are hills or mountains, right there. So you got your nice little graphics. You have the word. Oh no, wait, you have more here. Here I'm so not paying attention to what I'm doing. So here's Kala. This is where it sets up. I think it was it. Yeah. Okay. So the game comes with, in this case, 4 Kala markers, like that. On the back, they have a value, 3, 2, 2, and 3, like that. So what you do is, so I think this is a great mechanic. So you shuffle them. You shuffle them, and before the game begins, you draw one randomly, so neither player sees the value underneath, and you place it face down on the hex given in the scenario setup, like that. All right. So when a unit, I'll take another unit. When a unit is on the terrain, well, I should say a Kala, as a fortress, a Kala has a zone of control of 1, or it doesn't have a zone of control. It's just the hex that's located in. So when a unit is in that hex, like that, okay, and then an enemy comes to attack it, like that. When you go to resolve the combat, the defender here will then flip over the Kala marker and determine 2, and 2 will be the defense value that's factored into the combat. I believe it's at the end. I'm gonna give you what I remember by memory, and then when we go to do this, when we go to execute this for the first time, I will explain it. I will review the rules and explain it in any more detail that I need to. But this is actually what I remember, because I like this idea. So at the end of the turn, you're going to take, so at the end of the turn, the combat's all over. You're going to take the terrain marker, you're going to put it back into its pool, and you're going to shuffle it again, and you're going to draw, we'll say draw another one without looking at it, and place it there again, and then you go on. So therefore it is a random terrain modifier. Okay. And that's how you do it. Oh, and the only other thing to say is that when you flip it over, okay, so we'll do this again in a turn. You flip it over, okay, it's 3, like that. If I remember correctly, it is for the whole turn. So if you have another enemy unit over here, and then that unit attacks, you're still factoring in that 3 for the whole turn. Whatever attacks are involved, this way, that way, it's 3, it's 3, it's 3, it's 3. At the end of the turn, you're going to, like I said, go through, randomly draw, I'm shuffling them up and randomly drawing another one, like that, which I'll leave now here for the game. Okay. mountains and the woods work exactly the same way. They have a different spread. They don't have, like, you notice that the column markers have a 50-50 spread of a 2 or 3. It's a different spread of numbers, of modifiers for the other two types of terrain, but they work exactly the same way, except for one thing. For both Yabal and Gaba, they have a zone of control. So, all right, I'll grab unit again. So a unit that's here, adjacent to the Yabal marker, is also in the Yabal. Yabal are these 7 hexes, the hex with the marker and the 6 adjacent hexes. Right, so there's Yabal, or hill. This is a woods, and woods. So this unit is in the woods. This unit is not. This unit is just outside the woods. So other than that, it's you deal with the terrain the same way you did for the Kala or fortress marker. Okay. That, I think, is everything. There is one thing that it's not a game changer at all, but I was thinking about it. I guess I'll mention it. I said before that the combat system is based on a 1 attack die unit, a 2 attack die unit, or a 3 attack die unit. And I think I mentioned that some of the scenario special rules increase die amounts, attack die amounts. So you have +1 attack die for a certain class of units or for a certain number of turns or something like that. At first I thought, well, that's going to be easy if it only applies to 1 and 2 die units, because then okay, if you have a 2 die unit normally, when you implement a scenario special rule and you add a die, okay, you're just going to resolve it as a 3 die unit. Actually, that might not be right. That's what I thought at first. But then anyways, I do believe I found, it was a quick scan. I'm pretty sure I scanned and found that, no, I am pretty sure, the order units, the Christian order units who are already, yep, the order units are already 3 die units. Top left there. They're already 3 die units, and then there's at least one special rule, scenario special rule, that I think I found the other day that had a +1 attack die. So I was wondering, what do I do? Do I extrapolate a type of CRT based on the other 3 CRTs? They're not literally CRTs, but they are in effect table of results. Anyways, what I resolved to do is just add a die, do your roll like that, add them together, 12, 13, 14, and take 14 and resolve it on the same 3 attack die results table. And what that's going to do, that makes it easy for resolution because I'm not extrapolating anything, but the result is that seems to be a pretty strong modifier. That is not a modest modifier. It's going to be pretty significant. So now I think if it's a 2 attack die unit and the scenario special rule adds a die, I think I should, using the same logic I did there with the 3 attack die unit, I guess I should use the same logic and roll the 3 die, add them together, oops, or whatever it was, and still resolve it on the 2 attack die table of results. Okay. That would all be much clearer if I actually had a situation to use that thinking here. Okay, let's start with this battle. I'm really interested in, again, seeing how this all comes together. So first of all, we the archer markers. This is pretty interesting. I noticed some of the scenarios have one or even both sides have less archer units, and in some cases there's actually I think there's a scenario where neither side has archer units at all, so you just don't play with the archer mechanics at all. So I'm taking my Muslim, my 9 archer units like that. I am shuffling them up, and I'm going to draw the 3 for the game. Draw the 3 randomly for the game, like that. Place the other ones aside, still face down because they, you know, because they're still part of the game. So again, I would not show, if you're playing face to face, you don't show these. Ooh, 1, 2, and 4. That could be good. All right, so those are the Muslim archer units. I'm going to set them off to the side for the Muslim side. Then we do the same thing for the Christian side. Should be, yeah, 9 archer units. Shuffle them up. 8, 2, and 5. All right. Like many European games, these chits are very they're very, very firm, but they are very, very thin. I haven't really shown that, have I? They're very, very thin, so it does make them hard to manipulate from the table. All right. So the Christian side has 2, 2, 5, and 8. All right. Next, next we're going to set up the. These are the banner markers. I shuffle them up. I already shuffled them before, but make sure I don't remember anything. And I'm going to put them here randomly. I don't actually know why they're here like this. Maybe just so that, I don't know, so both players can see them between them during play. I don't know. I'm not sure why they need to be arranged like that, but all right. Is that all for setup? Oh, we have our Moloch markers. Yeah, Moloch markers. So I put my Muslim Moloch back here with the and again, I'm still practicing these unit types. I put it back here with the where is it? Oh, Gata. It is just Gata. It's a 4-letter word. Put it back with this Gata, which is kind of like medium cavalry. And I took the Christian leader. Where did I put the? Oh, did I not? Oh. I haven't put out the Christian leader yet. So it cannot be with an order unit. You have 3 order units, heavy cavalry, knights in the center there. They cannot be with them. So I'm going to put him, do I put him with the medium cavalry or put him back here with the infantry? I'm going to put him back with the medium infantry here. Now, get my unit type right. Those are called followers. Followers, I guess is how you say that. There. All right, Moloch markers, leader markers are placed. Now we go to the activation roles. So the first player to set up was the Muslim side, and now we'll see who is player A. I don't think there's anything special with, 4. That's low, not good, and not even enough to get a card. Christian side gets a 9. Okay, so 4 is easy. So what we're going to do is 4 is easy. Divide by 2 is 2. So they get 2 Noxet markers, which are placed now, and the What's that guy doing? Oh, he's actually in play there. It's kind of annoying that the track is right over the play area. Because I guess, I mean, he was shown to be set up there, so presumably these hexes are in play. The Alama marker, where is it? Where is it? Oh, A player will be the Christian side anyway, so I'll put that over there. Where's the Alama marker? Oh, there it is. Okay, so the Alama marker would be 2, but because the scenario special rule, it's divided in half. So it's actually only 1. What this means in effect is that right now to start, I guess I'll offset it here, the Muslim side gets only 1 activation point for the second half of the turn. Remembering that you can roll over unused Noxit markers as well, so it's not set, but that's the idea. What do I do here? I guess that's my camp there, right there. So this is the Muslim camp, this is the Christian camp. Christian camp's well to the rear. The Muslim camp is quite far forward and in the center. I'll put a Noxid marker here and here. I'll just do that. So the Christian activation roll needs to be rounded up because it's odd, 9 to 10, and they get 5 Noxid markers. Oh, so that's the archer. Always doing that. Here's the Alama marker. I'll handle that in a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6 Noxit marker to the side. All right, what are they going to do? I'm going to advance with the medium cavalry and advance with the light cavalry there. I shouldn't say advance because I could change my mind. Okay, the remaining half of those points goes to the track. So they get right there on the 5. There. That should be all for setup. I guess I'll talk about this particular scenario next. Again, the Battle of Quart from the 11th century.